Thank you. Thank you, and see you soon, Senator Tulfo.
On July 3, 2024, DICT Assistant Secretary Renato Paraiso confirmed the hacking of a website of DICT's Disaster Risk Reduction Management Division. Tama? Is that a correct statement? Now, it should be, right? Now, my question is, how can you claim yourself to be a cybersecurity authority kung mismong isa sa mga opisina ninyo ay na-hack? Paano mo protektahan yung cybersecurity ng ibang mga government agencies natin na umaasa sa inyo kung mismong isa sa mga tanggapan nyo ay na-hack?
Who's Yusek D? You're recognized. Go ahead.
Sure.
You may respond.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, first we would like to confirm that that website, the Disaster Risk Management website, which is part of the many websites being maintained by DICT, has been, what do you call that? There was unauthorized access to it. We would like to reiterate, Your Honor, that the unauthorized access did not extend to the core systems of DICT. That said, we have already improved our security mechanisms. That website po kasi is really open for uploads because it is where we receive field reports, especially during the times of disaster. We understand, Your Honor, that cybersecurity is a very complex matter, and that, of course, we're transparent enough and honest enough to say that if there are some systems we need to improve on, we will do so. But we reiterate, and we will be more than happy to submit to this August Chamber the report of what actually transpired. And again, let me reiterate, Your Honors, that it was an isolated system that did not. In fact, may rinan po silang scripts na hindi rin. Kumbaga, they are trying to get privilege, parang improved access through an external party. Parang privilege escalation ang tawag po namin dyan sa hacking, and they were unsuccessful. But yes, we confirm that there was unauthorized access to it.
Pero you should not use as an excuse, Yusek Uy, the fact na, Yusek D, excuse me, the fact na kayo po'y naisahan, medyo malaking kahiyaan po yun. Dapat no excuses. Dapat kayo ang authority pagdating sa cybersecurity. Dapat lahat na matanggapan nyo, umpisa nyo muna sa lahat na matanggapan nyo na hindi pwedeng ma-hack dapat. Regardless. Yun po yung point ko rito. Now, you're proposing an amount of 300 million for your confidential expenses lodged under DICT's Office of the Secretary. May mga programa ho ba kayo para paano gastusin itong 300 million? For 2025. You are proposing an amount of 300 million para sa confidential expenses. Paano gastusin itong 300 million confidential funds na may bibigay sa inyo? Wala pa sana, pero pinopropose niya, di po ba? Kaya nga, nagpo-propose kayo ng ganitong amount, so hindi nga pumasok, pero bakit ko kayo nagpropose ng ganito? Para saan sana ito? Saan nyo sana gagamitin itong 300 million? Ano sana mga programa meron kayong nakalaan para gastusin itong confidential fund sana kung sakali man ay natuloy? Kasi hindi lang kayo basta-basta hingi ng ganitong kalaking amount kung wala kayong programa, katapat o kaakibat. Tama?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, if I may. Thank you for that question. First, we would like to reiterate that we understand that in the initial discussions of the budget, we did request for a 300 million confidential funds, Your Honor. But right now, we are no longer pursuing that particular request, and we do not. It was not included in the National Expenditure Program, which was submitted to the President and which was approved by the Cabinet. That said, Your Honor, I will be more than happy to discuss the details of that in an executive session. Basically, as a general. In general terms, the DICT also has series of information gathering activities, which leads to information, for example, of arrests of certain hackers, and certain information which will tell us proactively if a particular government agency or a critical information infrastructure has been breached.
Sa social media, rampant na ngayon yung AI, Alam niyo po yun, ano? Lalo na palapit ng eleksyon, how could you stop that? Yung paggamit ng AI para sirain ang isang tao o isang kandidato, upurihin ang isang tao o isang kandidato. And definitely these are fake news. At nagiging rampant na to, naging talamak na. At parang totoo, para sa isang ordinaryong tao, parang totoo yung nakikita nilang video. At dumadami na ito, so paano po mapatigil to?
Thank you for that question again, Your Honor. With the permission of the Secretary, Mr. Chair, right now we have a coalition with major social media platforms. We have their back-end reporting system. We agreed on a watermarking and categorization system. Once they detect that it is an AI generated or a edited video in general, or a video that was shown without the sufficient context, pagtutulong-tulungan naming ma-detect, and they will watermark it po. They will put a label saying that either this video is out of context or maglalagay sila ng this is possibly AI generated. So that's the first thing po na ginagawa natin. Pangalawa, Your Honor, we have a lot of information materials already telling the public how to detect this. For example, there are free websites that can be used in the
No, you're not supposed to tell the public. You're supposed to delete those videos na para hindi na makarating sa public. Yun yung point ko. You don't tell them, you do it.
Your Honor,
Kasi marami nang kumakalat ng mga fake news. I myself, biktima ko, ilang beses na ako lumapit sa inyo. Yung lumalabas na fake news doon o fake video or fake article about me. Not only about me, about Lance Gokongwei, Enrique Razon, Jessica So, Anthony Taberna, at napakarami pang personality, mga investment scam. Paulit-ulit na lang ito for more than a year, and I've been communicating with you guys and telling you na please do something about this. Not only me, but other personalities. At maraming naniniwala at maraming nag-invest doon because our names were used and you guys are not doing anything. Or what have you done? Tell me, ano mga programa meron kayo para i-stop yung ganitong klaseng scam at modus at marami nang naluloko?
Your Honor, actually, of the reports submitted to us, which we forwarded to the social media networks, I just don't have the statistics. But there are a numerous number of URLs. Wala lang ako number ngayon, but it's more than 500.
You know what? You haven't done nothing for me as far as I'm concerned. Ako mismo, yung mga tao ko mismo ang tumawag sa Facebook. Tao ko mismo ang gumawa ng parang para ma-delete yun. Pero kayo wala kayong nagawa. Kayo may budget na para sa ganitong klaseng mga sitwasyon, sa ganitong klaseng mga problema, wala kayong nagawa. Pero yung mga tao ko may nagawa. Kumbaga, kanya-kanya kami, yung mga nabibiktima ng fake news, kami yung gumagawa ng paraan para mapadelete yun. Kayo wala. Hanggang sat-sat lang kayo eh. Hanggang programa kayo and then ask budget and then come up with this program, etc. But you're not doing anything. You're not walking the talk.
Your Honor, we apologize if there are some other items na hindi namin nagawa. But we have a record of a lot of URLs we already reported to the social media networks, most of which were blocked or removed. Others were labeled. For example, there was this report from at least one a reporter from CNN, another, on top of my head, Your Honor, kasi wala po akong statistics right now. There is a reporter from ABS-CBN, of course, several reports regarding the AI videos of the president, which we were able to request the social media platforms from being removed. We'll be more than happy to submit a report of all the URLs and of all the Facebook posts that have been either deleted or marked or categorized by the social media platforms. But Your Honor, let me also reiterate that this is also an ad hoc thing because technically we do not have a law that regulates social media platforms. Kumbaga po, sinasubmit lang din namin ito. Mas mabilis lang kasi we have a back-end system with them. But the decision to either remove it or to categorize it still remains with the social media platforms. For
I know,
example,
but you should get in touch with Facebook or YouTube,
Yes.
whatever social media
We do that,
platform
Your
that is. Let them know about the problem.
Yes, sir, we do that.
Currently affecting many Filipinos, many people, especially yung mga taong, mga personality na nasisira ng kanilang mga reputasyon. Okay.
we do that, Your Honor.
All right. Now, let's move on. Sabi mo kanina, yung 300 million hindi napasok sa NEP, yung sa confidential fund. Andito, 300 million. Napasok sa NEP. Andito. Tama ba?
Budget po ng DICT Office of the Secretary.
Budget of the DICT Office of the Secretary. Andito. Pakita mo nga sa kanila. So, kung meron kayong ganun 300 million at na yan ay pumasok sa NEP, then you have to explain to us. I think the Filipino people have the right to know paano nyo gagastusin yan. Okay. Mababang absorptive capacity ng DICT. Hindi nagagasta ang budget na inilaan sa inyo for 2023. 62.45%. For 2024 as of June 30, 2024, 42.92% lamang inyong utilization rates. Hingi kayo ng pondo na hindi nyo maalam kung paano yung gastusin o hindi nyo nagastos.
Yes, Mr. Chair, if I may be recognized.
Yeah,
2023 is about 62%. And for the first half of this year, that's about 43%, rounded off. Now, we have certain procurements that were failed, Mr. Chair. If those procurements should have been pushed through, that would have been about more than 50% for the first half of this year, Mr. Chair. But having said that, as presented by our secretary a while ago, our budget for this year compared to last year is significantly higher. And before the end of the year, we will be hitting more than 90%, Mr. Chair.
Okay, pero historically, 2022, 2023, napakababa, 32 to 60%. So bigla kayong lulundag at maging 90%. So ano kayo, Superman?
No, Mr. Chair. But right now, if I may, our utilization rate already hit about 64%, and we have certain procurements that are already moving towards the end of this year.
I hope so. The ICT received an adverse opinion from the Commission on Audit for 2023 for the misstatements on the following. Asset accounts amounting to 498 billion. 498 million. And then liabilities amounting to 86 million. And then net assets, equity accounts amounting to 585 million. Total na ito. When in fact, ang threshold lamang, ayon sa COA, ay dapat 65 million. Way above kayo doon sa threshold na sinet forth ng COA. Ang layo. 65 million set threshold lamang. Umabot kayo ng 585 million. Kaya napaka laking adverse opinion binigay sa inyo ng Commission Audit. Ang pinaka mataas na adverse opinion given to any agency in the history of government agencies for that matter. Alam niyo po yun?
If I may be recognized. With respect to the adverse opinion, supposedly from the COA, right now it's still being reconciled and the report is not yet final. If I may clarify with respect to the adverse opinion, the source of that pertains to the prior year balances. In fact, for the past 2 years that for the current administration, we don't have any notice of disallowances. And what is also contributory to that, Mr. Chair, is the fact that the beginning balances stems from the different organizations which led to the establishment of the ICT. In fact, there were about 6 offices of the government, and some of the balances were transferred from this previous departments. And in addition to that, Mr. Chair, what also led to that is the fact that there were a lot of changes in the administration with respect to the ICT during the past administration.
So, hugas kamay kayo. But anyway, listen to this. Sa 2023 COA report, 3 years na hindi nag-submit ng financial statements ang DICT. 2020, 2021, 2022. Ang recommendation ng COA, suspension of salary of officials, employees responsible. Bakit hanggang ngayon hindi nyo po nagagawa?
Mr. Chair, for 2023, we have already submitted the financial statements, but
Have
it's
you?
already late. Yes, sir.
Oh, when was it submitted?
I believe late last year, Mr. Chair.
Late last year.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I hope so. And I need to see a report of that na nasubmit nyo na po sa COA yan. Na-clear na po kayo ng COA.
We will submit, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
How about yung 790 million pesos na pinasusoli sa inyo ng COA? Notice of disallowance, disapproval of transaction either in whole or in part for being illegal, irregular, unnecessary, excessive, extravagant, or unconscionable expenditure. 792 million. Naisoli na po ba ito? At pakipaliwanag ba? Ano po ito yung mga tinatawag na illegal, irregular, excessive, extravagant?
Mr. Chair, I will check our records, but for the past 2 years,
2023 COA report to
yes, sir. That is actually an accumulated balance from the prior years, yung sa 790 million.
Kaya nga po, ito ba na-explain nyo sa COA, na-clear na ba kayo ng COA, at nasoli nyo na ba sa COA? At gusto ko lang po malaman, ano-ano po dito yung sinasabi nilang excessive, extravagant, at illegal? Sample lang po itong illegal, extravagant, excessive. Ano po yun? Para may depensa yung sarili nyo.
Mr. Chair, we will submit our report on that. Currently, we are coordinating.
Pero
with
dapat
COA.
meron na kayong ready ngayon, ma-explain nyo sa amin ngayon. Kasi ito yung budget eh. Kaya nyo pa-submit. Mabagal kayo eh. Ano ko nga sa inyo, integrity ng PCS o Lotto, umabot kayo 1 taon eh, para lamang pang ilang linggo lang yung inassess nyo. Inabot kayo 1 taon bago bumalik sa akin. So this one, we need it now. Ano itong tinatawag na illegal, irregular, unnecessary, excessive, extravagant na expenditure? Unconscionable expenditure, 792 million.
We will submit ASAP, Mr. Chair.
Can you answer the question because we want to put that on record? It's a valid question and this is a budget hearing.
Yes.
So we need to exactly know the details of that report, and COA is we use COA's report to propound questions and to seek clarification. So
There's a COA member here,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
I think we have.
ba tayo?
Nandito ba yung COA?
Yes, we have a COA personnel.
COA, pwede paki-explain, sir?
Good
Ano ito?
afternoon, Mr. Chair. Can I be recognized?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Sir, ano?
Mr. Chair, that notice disallowance pertains to previous administrations,
Okay.
and it's now under appeal at the Commission.
Pero pwede malaman kung ano yung tinatawag na illegal, irregular, unnecessary, excessive. Para dapat masampa ng kaso, ang dapat sampa ng kaso regardless kung previous or present administration we're talking about.
May I ask permission of Attorney City to discuss it, the details? Attorney City. Can we recognize Attorney City, the audit team leader of the ICT?
Yes. Opo.
Um,
Magbigay lang po kayo ng mga examples para malaman po ng taong bayan.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. I am Attorney City Dimao, the audit team leader of the DICT po. As to what constitute an illegal, irregular, unconscionable, and extravagant expenses, for the illegal po, if there is a very glaring violation of the law, then it is considered illegal.
Ano po halimbawa
For example po,
Okay, sir.
kunwari po, there should be a public bidding, but then wala pong bidding na nangyari, then it is considered illegal. for being not compliant or in violation of the RA 9184 that require that all procurement must be undertaken through public bidding.
Okay, so this happened during the previous administration. So, at iniingi nyo na isoli itong 792 million. So, nasoli na ho ba? At ito pong mga taong responsible, nasampan na ho ba ng kaso? Nasampan ng kaso sa ombudsman?
Your Honor, those notice of disallowances issued is an accumulation of various transactions, which either illegal, irregular, unconscionable, or extravagant. These are all pending appeal with the Commission on Audit, Commission Secretariat, or in the central office po.
Opo, pero after na nakita nyo po na ito nga po yung problema at siniling nyo na isoli ang 792, from previous administration po ito. So ano pong guarantee na may susoli pa po itong 792 million? Ano pong klase mga programa meron kayo in place to ensure na these monies will be returned?
Your Honor, under the revised rules of procedure of the Commission on Audit, right after the disallowance is being appealed, then the Commission on Audit will issue the decision on whether final na po, on whether irregular po talaga siya or illegal. Then the Commission on Audit, after issuance of the decision, will issue the notice of finality of decision and COA order of execution requiring
Okay,
po na
so when would be the finality report be issued, ma'am?
The decision will also provide, sir, in some instances na the
When, ma'am?
transaction is being forwarded to the Office of
Ma'am,
Ombudsman.
sige, after all this investigation, thorough investigation that you will be conducting, my question is, kailan po in finality, nalalabas po kayo ng result na talagang, yes, kailangan isoli yung 792, yes, may nagkasala rito, yes, si ganito ang kagagawa niyan, si ganon, si ganito, si Poncio Pilato, si Maria, si Jose. Kailan po namin malaman yan para masampahan po ng kaso, ang dapat sampahan ng kaso. Kasi napakalaking pera po ito, 500 million, more than 500 million pesos.
You are right po, Your Honor. Ang requirement mo under the revised rules of procedure natin sa COA is the cashier or the accountant and the head of the agency will file under PD 1445 will file a civil litigation or a civil case against the person liable to return the money. At the same time po, the COA in its decision will forward the decision to the Office of the Ombudsman if there is a
Okay, they
criminal
filed an
liability.
appeal, ma'am, right? Nag-appeal po yun?
Yes po.
And then, from the time that you received their appeal, ilang araw, linggo o buwan ang bibilangin hanggang sa kayo po'y makapaglabas ng inyong pong final decision?
The Commission Secretariat has the discretion po.
So, pwedeng sabihin 6 years, 10 years, 50 years?
No sir, may period po.
Kaya nga, ilang nga po, gaano kahaba yung period na yun are we talking about? Dapat meron kayo nakaset na date o timeline o timetable. Hindi
yes
pwedeng discretion lang ng isang tao. Paano kung isang tao yung nakurap, nabayaran, nasuhulan? Pwede niya patulugin lang yung kaso hanggang sa forever.
Your
hanggang
Honor, po.
walang
Your
hanggan.
Honor po, meron pong period within which the COA will issue
Well, then
the
dapat,
audit
can you tell
decision.
us how the period? Gaano katagal?
But the period po when to file the civil case against the person liable, yun po yung parang...
Yun nga, ma'am, dapat sabihin niyo po sa amin yung period from the time na nag-file sila ng appeal up to the time na you can come up with your decision after a thorough investigation, etc., etc. Kailan malalaman lahat na ang sa gayon, malaman ng taong bayan, yes, meron talaga dito nagloko, yes, kailangan talaga may masampa ng kaso, yes, itong mga taong ito kailangan talagang managot. Yun po yung ibig ko sabihin. Hindi tayo puro sat-sat lang and then hanggang sa dumating na 5 administrations later, hindi pa rin sila sampa ng kaso hanggang sa ito po yung natulog lang sa pansitan, natabunan na lang po. Yun po yung point ko. Dapat bilisan nyo po at mag-set kayo ng timetable kung hanggang kailan matapos po yung investigation nyo. Para yung mga tao ay mag-expect.
of notice of disallowance, the liable person is given at least 6 months to respond to the notice of disallowance. Pag hindi pa po nakapag-reply, then that's the time po na that the decision will be issued.
Okay. Have they replied already? Di ba nag-issue kayo ng nag-appeal sila. And then from after nag-appeal sila, meron kayo pinadalang document sa kanila for them to reply?
Yes po.
And then-
We issued the decision to the liable person.
Okay.
Then
When was it issued, ma'am? What was
Uh,
it issued?
For each notice of disallowance for regarding sa 7 million.
Opo.
I don't have here the data
Okay,
po
have they replied?
pa isa-isa, sir.
So ganito lang ma'am, bilisan po natin. Gusto ko malaman kung ano na nangyari dun sa kanilang reply, paano nyo po pre-process yung reply nila, paano po ninyo inaksyonan, at kailan po natin malaman ng taong bayan, sino-sino itong mga tao na nagkasala na nagwaldas ng pera ng taong bayan. Ano po yung point dito, ma'am?
Your Honor, we will provide you the report and when was the decision was issued to the determined liable person po.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Dalawa na lang po. In 2023, 18 contracts were awarded amounting to 1.679 billion. According to the COA report, 942 locations out of 3,456 locations were not activated. Anyari po dito sa 942 locations. Meron pong budget na release 1.6 billion something para sa 3,456 locations. Free wifi po ito para sa Free Internet Access for All Act, RA number 10929. DICT is mandated to provide free access to internet service in public places throughout the country. So yun na nga po, 2023, 18 contracts awarded amounting to 1.679 million to COA. According to COA, 942 locations out of 3,456 locations were not activated. Hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin po. Free wifi doon sa mga locations na yon. Ano po nangyari?
Yeah, Your Honor, I think without going through the details, kasi wala po akong detalye, but I remember that most of these contracts awarded where they failed to activate the sites, meron po silang liquidated damages. There are some contracts where the liquidated damages were really up to parang 8 or 8%, 9%. There were also SLA violations pag nagpe-fail silang mag-activate, Your Honor. We can give a list, but we are confident that of these reports that they failed to activate, may mga liquidated damage po yan, Your Honor. And after that, kung after the maintenance report, kasi for example, Your Honor, I think about a few weeks ago, may pinirmahan po ako, nasa 10% yung kanilang hindi na liquidated damage. Ano na yun? SLA, for failure to SLA, binawasan natin ng 10% yung kanilang monthly
So kailan mapufulfill yung para magkaroon na rin po ng Wi-Fi, itong 942 locations free Wi-Fi? When will it happen?
Let me check, Your Honor. I'm not sure kung, kasi baka nung chinek po ng 2023, it was under implementation. Baka po ngayon meron na. Kasi yung liquidated damages are usually during implementation.
So are you sure it's at 100% out of the 3,456 locations na supposed to be magkaroon ng free Wi-Fi? Ilang porsyento na ang na-achieve? Ilan? O meron pa bang mga locations na hindi pa na nabibigyan
the
free
reason,
Wi-Fi?
my apologies, Your Honor, if kasi kaya ako nahihirapan sumagot po kasi every single month that we pay a particular contractor po, pag minonitor po ng aming network operations center na may isa o dalawang araw na si barangay na ganito nagda-down, talagang kinakaltas po natin sa pagbabayad yan. So I'm sure, ang sure lang po ako of the many reports that I sign, is that I don't think it's 948 po ngayon. Your
Pero
Honor.
dapat you should have that figures by now. Alam niyo, budget hearing
meron-
po ngayon.
may-
O so ilan na po out of the 3,000? So
Right.
dati 946. So ilan ang nabawas dito sa 946? Exact figure, please.
Right now, we have 13,461 access points that are activated.
Okay. Hindi, pag-usapan natin yung 946, yung sa COA report. Ilan po na ibawas dito? COA report po ito eh. Sorry, 942, 942 locations. Ilan po nabawas dito? Dapat meron kayong numero nito eh, kasi budget hearing po ito eh.
Sir, well, I'll just check with my technical staff. Your Honor, my technical staff are just collating the figures. We apologize sa 2023 audit.
Follow-up question. Sige, while you're researching on that question. June 2024, 288 million Philippine Digital Infrastructure Project to expand Wi-Fi coverage was approved. Laking pera to. 700 new free Wi-Fi sites. Ano pong timeline nyo rito?
Your Honor, my apologies. No, bigla ko in-approach ng technical staff ko when you were asking the question. I'm sorry, I didn't get the question.
Hindi, para sabay-sabay ko para dalawang question lang, then
Opo.
I'll be out of here. 288 million.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
288 million pesos allocated para sa Philippine Digital Infra Project to expand Wi-Fi coverage.
I think the 288 million US dollars is a World Bank loan, the Philippine Digital
US dollar,
Infrastructure
yes.
Project,
Yeah.
Your Honor, yes.
Kaya nga, ano pong timeline nyo rito?
The timeline is in 2028, Your Honor. It includes the completion of submarine cables in Visayas to complete the national fiber backbone and to reach Mindanao. It also includes ilang Wi-Fi sites in Mindanao? More than 700 free Wi-Fi sites, mostly in the Mindanao area where the internet penetration rate is below 17%, Your Honor.
Kulang kayo sa information dissemination. Again, according to COA, hindi kayo nagko-concentrate sa pagpo-post ng signages para sa Wi-Fi program sa mga state universities, colleges. Nag-inspect at nagtanong ang sa mga estudyante ang COA. Marami sa mga estudyante, they're not aware na meron palang free Wi-Fi access. COA mismo ang gumawa ng inspection sa mga universities. Hindi nga alam ng mga estudyante na meron palang ganitong klaseng programa ang gobyerno. So,
Thank you.
how can they use and access this program when they were not informed and they're not properly informed?
Thank you, Your Honor. I think that is a 2023 COA audit report, and we are confident to say that we have already rectified that as of approximately March or April this year. Naglagay na po kami ng signages. In
So-
fact, as part of the COA report, there is also the changing of our landing page, Your Honor. So all of this were already rectified.
So, na-rectify na itong problema. So, properly informed na lahat ng mga estudyante sa lahat ng mga universities kung
Yes.
paano gumamit, mag-access sa free Wi-Fi.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, isa na lang. Let's talk about Pogo. Marami mga na-scam. Marami na bibiktima tong Pogo. Hanggang ngayon, meron pa rin. In fact, binihisan lang ng bagong pangalan itong Pogo at marami pa rin naluloko. This time, maging mga Pilipino na. Dati-rati, mga foreigners lang, mga players sa China. Now, nagagamit yung mga Pilipino para manloko at maloko na rin. Ano pong plano nyo rito?
Mr. Chair, can I be recognized?
Yeah, go ahead, Yusek Ramos.
As early as 2022, we've been establishing strategies on how to detect the proliferation of tech scams. Slowly, we were inching our targets by providing leads to the law enforcement, considering that we are not a frontliner. But we have acquired OSINT, different technologies for geolocation of this illegal sites that are spamming our citizenry. And I believe we have been very successful in the operations on this matter because we have dismantled a big chunk of this.
Okay, if you have dismantled, Sir Yusek Ramos, bigyan nyo kami ng listahan ng mga sites na na-dismantle nyo o napahuli ninyo o nakasuhan po ninyo.
Yes, sir. I
Meron
will.
po ba? Ilan po?
So far, we have 16 that we have provided to law enforcement agencies.
And because of your effort,
yes, that,
meron po napasara.
yes, sir.
Pwede kong makikita yung mga numerong yon at yung mga taong at ano po nangyari sa kanila. Aside from dismantling their operations, what I really need is nakasuhan ba sila? Kasi madali mag-dismantle pagkatapos patatakasin na makakatakas na yung mga POGO operators. Ang gusto ko dapat, hindi nakatakas at nakasuhan.
That is true, Your Honor. Well, I'm proud to say that one of the only effort wherein there is an actual conviction is a case that we operated with the Philippine National Police. It's the first conviction that was 2 months ago, a month ago, I mean. And because all of these cases are pending with the Department of Justice, but one of the cases we had in Iloilo, it was successfully, there was a successful conviction.
Alam niyo po na sinasabi nga wala ng Pogo, sinasabi to ng PAGCOR, pero meron pa rin pong Pogo, binihisan lang po ng bagong pangalan. So you better watch out for it. Watch for their operations. Kasi ang sinasabi, sila ay parang BPO lamang, ang nagpo-process lamang ng mga taya, pero wag ka, Pogo pa rin sila. So that is something that you have to focus your attention to.
That's right, Your Honor. In fact, we have developed a preemptive capability. We are preempting because it's the bare months already. There is a transition of modus operandi of these operators. In fact, when the Bureau of Immigration mentioned that 3,000 have left the country and we have over 100,000 who came in, we're still finding ways. Where are the others? And we are collaborating in these efforts with the Bureau of Immigration.
National Security Council warns of foreign interference in 2025 elections. Ito na yung nasabi kanina, hacking and misinformation, fake news. So, ano po yung programa meron kayo para mabawasan itong dangers of hacking, especially sa electoral database?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, even before, as early as January 2023, we've been collaborating with the COMELEC as to strategies on how to address deepfakes and AI, because it's going to be a challenging effort considering that in the last Interpol conference held here in Manila, they have shared with us the best practices all over the country because there's no perfect solution in the meantime. As far as the CICs is concerned, we were able to acquire certain tools that would allow us to tread into the virtual world, gathering all of this content. Because what COMELEC wants to count, they want to regulate the number of exposures and to find out if these are coming from directly from the candidates or not. We have specific tools for that at the moment.
Okay, and very last na, Mr. Chair. Concern talaga ako dito sa paggamit ng AI para magpakalat ng fake news, yung mukha ng tao at pati pagbukas ng bibig, pagsalita, parang siya talaga, parang totoo talaga and all. And dumadami na eh. Do you have a program on how to stop that? Lalo na yung election?
Yes, Your Honor.
Dami na yan. Ako, dami ko ng beses nakikita sa TikTok.
That is
Sumasaya.
correct.
And then, meron yung nagsasalita na akala mo yung nagsasalita, talagang totoong sinasabi niya, talagang mukha niya, pati yung pagbukas ng bibig, boses niya and all, yung pala fake news. So, how would you attack that kind of a problem that is now rampant sa ating social media?
As far as what we are doing at the present, because the lack of regulation on AI here in the country, we are adopting certain standards on identifying what is real and what is not. And in fact, we have collaborated with the academe to do a study on developing tools as well as policies on AI. I think this was recently approved with DOST and NDC. We have 6 research studies on this because
that means-
it has to be
Okay.
for future use, because the current tools that we have are what is available in the market.
And then what is this kind of tool that you're using or tools para ma-identify kung fake news ka, yung isang fake news using AI? And you're talking to experts, you say?
That's correct.
And who are these people you're talking to, sir?
Pardon, sir?
Who are these people you're talking to?
These are the academe. In the last Interpol conference,
Yeah, they're academic, but I mean, are they experts in when it comes to AI?
programming
Programming?
experts, yes.
So they have programming experience and And are they been tested na talagang alam nila para mag-identify na hindi? Kasi ang concern ko, sir, dumarami ng dumarami. At God forbids na baka magkakaroon ng kunting kaguluhan kung papabayaan natin to na dumadami yung AI. One of these days, meron dyan magsasalita na parang nag-iinganyo ng gumawa ng insurrection or something, and then maniniwala sila dahil parang totoo talaga yung nagbibigay ng mensahe, nag-uudyok sa mga tao na gumawa ng something or nag-expose ng something when in fact that something is fake news. And marami maniniwala dahil yung mukha ng tao, siya talaga yun, o mukha ng mga tao, sila talaga yun, at yung boses at mukha, that is dangerous. You admit to me that, sir, right?
That's
You
correct.
agree?
Yeah. That's correct. Yeah.
Yun, dapat mag-focus kayo dyan. Do something about it quick.
In fact, Your Honor, just a week ago, in our command conference in CICC, together with concurrence also with our partners in law enforcement, NBI and ACG, we said that after this findings, that there will be three major tools, three general tools that have to be an area of focus. One is cryptocurrency, the other one is ransomware, and the other one is AI and deepfakes. These are general categories, but there are numerous tools being utilized for this purpose. All crimes are related, utilizing any of these three major tools. That's why after collapsing, we are actually developing a field of expertise in this by continuous training. As early as August, the training program is ongoing for CICC personnel and our partner agencies to enhance our understanding and capability in addressing these issues.
And lastly, Secretary Ivan Jan Uy, next time, kapag may mga hearing at nabigyan kayo ng proper notice to attend, magpa-attend ka naman ng tao. Huwag naman yung para ka ng isnab. Para ka naman kayong napakataas tingin nyo sa sarili ninyo. At nag-antay yung hearing, and that was a very important hearing because we were talking about the integrity of the PCSO Lotto na marami ng tao nagka-question at kung ano pang mga problema ang ini-issue, binabato about PCSO. At kayo lang po makakasagot doon sa DICT kung meron pa bang integridad ang Lotto at walang umaten sa inyo. Ang pina-attend nyo, walang kinalaman doon sa hearing. At inisnab niyo yung hearing na yun. Parang napaka-yabang nyo naman, sir.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, the Secretary.
Yes, first of all, I'd like to apologize to Senator Raffy Tulfo. We fully recognize that he's been a very strong supporter of the ICT, and there was really no intention on the part of the ICT to snub. When the invitation was received, it was immediately assigned to one of the assistant secretaries to attend. And internally, there was a confirmation from him that he will attend this the hearing, considering the importance that the hearing was trying to establish in that during that occasion. So we've already asked. I've asked that official in who confirmed to explain why he was unable to attend that important hearing, because from internally we actually got confirmation that he was supposed to attend. So
Hindi po siya naka-attend. Nasa malalamig na lugar po ba siya? Kasi iniintay namin dito eh. Sabi parating. Hintay kami ng hintay hanggang sa natapos yung hearing, just dumating.
Opo. So we are going to make remedial measures po. Next time po, with your invitation, we will ensure that we will have people who will be relevant to your inquiry and who can answer your questions to attend your hearing.
Kasi saying na po yung very important yung DICT dahil kayo po ang magsasabi kung maasahan pa ba, mapagkatiwalaan pa ba yung PCSO Lotto. Yun lang po yun para ma-explain sa taong bayan based dun sa ginawa yung assessment sa PCSO Lotto system. Wala kayo, hindi kayo sumipot. So, yun na yung reason why we had that hearing para mag-report ang DICT to tell us, trabaho ng DICT to tell everybody kung ano ba talaga ang katayuan ng PCSO Lotto Games. At hindi kayo sumipot, kayo ang pinaka-starring doon, kayo ang pinaka-bida doon. At tapos yung ASEC na inassign mo, nagliwalyo lang kung saan pumunta. For all we know, baka nasa motel, whatever. Diba?
Yes,
I've been waiting and waiting eh.
I again, Senator Tulfo,
Next time, don't do that, sir.
I apologize for that on behalf of the
In
department.
fact, you should have, pwede ka naman sana umaten. Sa mga hearings, umatin yung mga secretary. Bakit ikaw? Kung hindi siya maka-attend, why not you?
We'll put in the proper procedure
Yung
po.
mga ibang secretary sa iba't ibang mga department nag-attend eh.
Opo.
DSWD, DILG, nag-attend. DNR, Agriculture,
Yes.
in-invite. Pero ikaw hindi ka umattend, parang, what's so special about you, sir?
Nothing, Mr. Senator. Actually, we were just looking at what is the particular topic so that the person who's actually doing that investigation or that inquiry is the one, so that the correct information.
Yun lang, sir, kaso walang dumating. Yun lang po
Opo.
yun, sir.
So I
Very important
apologize.
DICT.
I apologize again, Mr. Senator,
Yes, sir.
and that will not happen again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.